Thank you, Carrie. Give her a warm welcome, please.
Thank you so much, Sophia, and you're such an excellent public speaker. I feel like I can learn so much from you. And it's so crazy how we met through the Miss America program, and our director, executive director of the Miss Massachusetts organization, actually put us in touch. We didn't know it, but we're both fellow Charlestown residents. My father lives in Charlestown. And when I was actually Miss Cambridge 2013, long story short, I resided in Charlestown, not Cambridge, but I worked in Cambridge, so. I want to introduce myself and give you a little background information, because while this is somewhat of a lecture, it's way more than that. As Sophia had said earlier, I'm not here to teach you about social media. I'm not here to teach you about analytics. I'm here to teach you about storytelling and branding and who I am as a person. And the key to the word of innovation is within. You can't be innovative without looking within yourself. So I want to talk a lot about that as a very important topic as well. I'm left-handed, so
Do you want me to flip for you?
oh, I got it. You saw a sneak peek already. So let's start off. Who am I? My name is Carrie Sunde. Again, that's Sunde Ice Cream Sunday without the A, if you're wondering. You can all follow me here on social media. I am very excited to announce that I am just under 40,000 followers, which is a really big deal for me as a creator in Massachusetts. Content creation is big across the country, but I would say not so much within our state, and especially not so much within Boston, surprisingly. I know all of the local content creators in our city. We're all very close, and as much as you would think we compete with each other, we're actually a big family. So I am a Boston-based content creator with nearly 40,000 followers, and a couple of years ago, I went viral on TikTok as well. My TikTok has garnished more than 10 million views. One of my videos actually hit 7 million views, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. And my background is actually very interesting. So when I was 6 years old, my mother enrolled me at Boston Ballet School, and I spent 10 years dancing basically pretty much full-time after school. So I would go to school from 8 to 2:30, and then my mother would whisk me off to Boston Ballet School, and I spend my time probably from 4 to 8 p.m. there, and then do homework afterwards. And then I also am a former beauty queen. I was Miss Cambridge 2013, serving the lovely city of Cambridge, and I placed top 10 at Miss Massachusetts. So that was an incredible honor and so special to me. And now I give back. I am on the Miss Massachusetts Board of Directors, where I've been for the last 3 years, and I help put on the Miss Massachusetts pageant, which happens every June, and we send one young lady to Miss America, and she competes with 52 other contestants at the Miss America competition, and we give away millions of dollars in scholarship money, which we're very grateful for. And then, in case you didn't know, I actually have a full-time job as well. I am an executive assistant in the energy space. I am basically full-time executive assistant for a CEO, a CFO, a CEO, and 6 board of director members. So I am very busy, and I do find time to sleep. Sleep is very important. So the big question is, what shaped me into the person I am today? Where did it all begin? I was having basically a look down memory lane. It's incredible to see where the journey started and where it's become. And this is really important because I want you all to remember the foundations of who you are, what you've learned, and what skills you have learned over time, because that's really shaped me to who I am today. So, a little bit about my younger years, my childhood, which I'm very proud of. I'm adopted. So I was adopted from Changsha, China, at about 2 years old. My mother was a single parent at age 45. She was a social worker, she didn't have any kids, and she really wanted a child. So I was very fortunate to be paired with my mother, that's her down there. And this has truly shaped who I am as a person and my life. And I don't take anything for granted because I'm going to tear up, but I was given a second chance at a better life. And I pay it forward. That's really who I am and what I do. I love to pay it forward. I have heartfelt gratitude in my soul, and I'm here to serve, uplift, and give back. So that is who I am and what I do. And I just wanted to say innovation comes naturally when you have lived a life rooted in appreciation and purpose. So it's really deep down inside of you. That's how you're an innovator, and that is how you transform your life, but also the lives of others. So a little bit about the community service aspect of me, which is also very important. Long before I was a content creator, I was giving back to my community through pageantry, nonprofit work, and storytelling. And here are some photos from my year as Miss Cambridge. There's a polar plunge on the left in -degree weather in Revere. That's the night I was crowned Miss Cambridge. This is me being a princess with a lot of young girls that are looking up to me. And this here is the Lunar New Year Festival in Quincy. So really embracing my heritage. And then there I am at one of my favorite events, which again was the polar plunge. I didn't actually plunge myself, but it was a great event. So yeah, innovation is not just about creating, it's about contributing. And that's something I want you, if anything you take away, is that when you are creating and contributing, you are innovating, you are changing not only your own lives, but the lives of others, and you're having an impact. So my ballet training ties into all of this. As I said before, I joined Boston Ballet School when I was 6 years old. I was very, very lucky to have this opportunity because it wasn't cheap. My mother worked very hard to put me through this school. Again, she started off as a single parent and just wanted the best for me. And I had been in a space where there were many privileged young women and men that had wealthy parents that were very high in society, and I had to find my way. But the most important thing that I learned from dance is, I will talk about in a second, but funny story short, I actually spent 7 consecutive seasons in Boston Ballet's Nutcracker, starting from age 6 to 14. My mother, when I was 6 years old, brought me to 36 shows at between the Wang Theater, the Colonial, and the Boston Opera House. And I cannot thank them enough for doing that for me. I didn't get paid, they didn't get paid, but it really blended into my experience of who I am today. I also traveled overseas to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which is the largest arts festival in the world. I danced in the ballet Alice in Wonderland, and that was the most incredible experience. But what I learned from dancing and ballet and the years of discipline, precision. Precision is so important because the movements of ballet are very specific. Everything has a name, everything has timing. Choreographers want you to do the movements in the way that they describe them. Movement is really interesting as well because it's a form of storytelling, and we don't tell stories through words, we tell them through movement. So it's really important when you're learning a dance or choreography or figuring out exactly how you want to present a piece, is that you tell that story through the movements and people can feel the connection. And that alone is innovation and creativity. The stage presence is a really huge part and aspect of being in the dancer community. You can't be nervous when you're on stage. You have to do it. And surprisingly, I'll admit it, and all performers will admit it, is we do get nervous. And we do forget the choreography, and we do forget the steps, and we're human, and that happens. But it's so important that you learn stage presence. So if that does happen, you're able to maneuver and find a way to figure out how you can continue to dance and tell those stories and find your step, even if you've lost it. And then lastly, the art of repetition and mastery is so interesting with innovation and creativity and creation because you're doing the same movements over and over again. And part of what I learned as a dancer is that, for example, with the Nutcracker, you'll perform the Nutcracker years and years and years, and some dancers have done it for 20 plus years. And even though it's precision and repetition, you learn to change the movements every year and to do something different and to evolve in your mastery, in your craft. And that is something that is very innovative. Moving on quickly to pageantry, I had discussed with you earlier that I was Miss Cambridge, I'm on the board of directors, and what pageantry has taught me. public speaking, and effective communication. So I was in high school, and I could dance on a stage in front of thousands of people, but I couldn't give a speech in front of my fellow students of 20 to 25. Pageantry really took me to that next step because we had to do private interview in front of a panel of 6 to 10 judges. They could ask you any questions, political, cultural, events, news, anything, and you had to be able to pivot on a dime and answer that question and somehow get your answer to world peace without saying world peace. So, branding and storytelling, you are a brand, you're a title holder, you're an ambassador, but you're also a brand. When you're a title holder, you're always on. You have to take pictures with the community. You have to be in the best moods at all times. But most importantly, you're there to serve and to give back. And then, poised under pressure. There are days when I'm not poised and when I'm under a lot of pressure, but pageantry has really taught me that at the end of the day, you just have to take a deep breath and everything is gonna work itself out. And the biggest lesson we all teach from pageantry is there's only one crown, you can't always win, but you can learn from your experiences and every opportunity is a gift. And so content creation, well, my speech is about content creation. It was more about who I am as a person and why I've become a brand and why I share my story. I was one of the original Boston bloggers. I started my blog back in 2016. So believe it or not, this is the 10-year anniversary of my blog, which is so exciting. I was really in the influencer space before it became more of a digital space. I was HTML coding. I learned how to do all of this while going to college, while doing pageants, all on my own. And you have to be able to go with the times. And although I'm young and I'm able to learn, and I chat GPT everything, honestly, that's how I teach myself. But I'm in my 30s, and actually a lot of the content creators are in their 20s, or even in their teens. And I have to be able to keep up with that. So that alone is learning how to be innovative and creative. And now it's Instagram Reels, it's TikTok, it's all different collaborations, and you're still working with, content creators that have millions of followers and that are on Dancing with the Stars or The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, and that's how they become famous, just because they've been on television or, they just they go viral. But at the end of the day, you have to stay true to who you are yourself and what you can offer others. And that is what is so unique and organic and what will get you far in life. And then for me, I fell into being an executive assistant. This wasn't really my space, but because of who I am and what I've learned, and being able to wear multiple hats, this is so funny because I had short hair here, but you just have to be able to do anything that you put your heart and soul into as an executive assistant. And most importantly, you have to be humble. Yes, I am a content creator. Yes, I have thousands of social media followers. Yes, my boss has found my Instagram. But you have to be humble about it. And I work for some of the most incredibly intelligent, smart people in the world, in the energy space, that are literally changing the way AI works. We build energy plants so that data centers and AI can actually be able to do their job. And we power them, which is so cool. And I help these executives because of the skills that I have through the world of pageantry, ballet, content creation. I help them make their jobs possible. And I'm so humble about it and so grateful. So at the end of the day, you just have to be true to yourself and know that your story will continue in all different capacities and just be so humble and so grateful for what you have. And these are just my innovation takeaways. Rely on your foundation, utilize the skill sets you have. You all have incredible skills, whether you think it or not, and you should really harness those and use those to create and be innovative. Be curious, do research, ask questions, and stay hungry. There's never a day when I'm not hungry and I don't want to pull up a seat to the table and eat. Like, by all means, please put the buffet in front of me and the cake too. Be authentic, be genuine, and remember, real is relatable. When I meet other content creators, I think of them on their social media, and that is who I think they are. If they're not real and relatable and they don't want to talk to me and they don't want to network and they don't want to share their creative space, that's not who I'm going to follow. I'm following the genuine ones that are out there and the ones that I know I'm going to be friends with at the end of the day. Treat your passion like a profession. Hard work pays off. There are late nights, there are early mornings, but at the end of the day, you have one life to live and you need to live it. And add value, inspire, inform, uplift, and innovate. I think our job in society and being on this planet really is to give back and to do more good than harm. So in your life, take a minute to find a way to give back and be innovative in ways where you're volunteering, creating, giving your time to others, because that will bring you so far in life. And then build a community, not just a following. Interaction is key. And if you learned anything from this conversation that we're having today, interaction is key, especially on social media. Always be interacting with your followers, always be communicating, always be liking, and never be silent. And then lead with gratitude, your purpose fuels innovation. And then I just wanted to say, I never started with a blueprint. I built my creator career by showing up, evolving through every chapter, and leading with gratitude. I used my own stories and experiences as the foundation, turning them into something meaningful for others. And innovation became my process, trying, learning, reinventing, and trying again. And if I can do it, so can you. Thank you so much.
All right, we do have a few minutes, and I wanted to open up. Who feels on a scale, right, of good, better, best, kind of like, who feels like they have a good grasp on social media? Anyone? Okay? Even okay? Okay. Not so great. Not so great? That's all right. So who feels like they're a maven? Like they're really, really great at social, like just for yourself? Yeah, I'm not in that group either. So I thought we could open up for some Q&A, right? Now, there are these hypotheticals out there. We want to bring every aspect of ourselves. Carrie has presented every aspect of herself, right? And since we have time, does anyone have any questions about how to, like, what's the next, like, getting started point? Is that a hand? All right.
Well,
Here, I'll bring this just so we can hear you.
hi, I'm Glenn. So I would like to get started. It's a long story. I have a graphic design background, got into IT tech support for healthcare, but I'm going back to my creative roots as well as keeping technology. One of photography, creative documentary. I have an Instagram. Want to do some more YouTube. Figure out how to market, reach out. I'm trying to do that, and YouTube, how I can promote and give back to the kids, how I can promote myself. One thing that made me come up and speak is, so for social media, we have Instagram, we have TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, X, former Twitter. Now there's Blue Sky, and there's some other vague ones out there too. I'm big into photography. I want to do more video. I draw and sketch, so I need to focus, but I need to get into all of this. And then along with that and all the social medias, my business entrepreneur friends are big into LinkedIn. They don't understand why the artists and creatives aren't into it. They mock my LinkedIn, and it needs to be much better. It's a much different mode or animal to build. And a lot of creatives I've seen good, but anyway, I digress. So that's a big one.
What is the question?
So the question is, I'm sorry.
That's okay. No. All the backstory is great. Just want to make sure she's...
Question is, there are multiple social media, so how do you balance that? And the point I made about LinkedIn, where is that going?
Yep.
Along with everything else?
That's a great question, and I love graphic designers. So I took a class in graphic design, and that is, you have to have an eye for graphic design. So You're amazing. For LinkedIn, I use LinkedIn for business. It's my business tool. So I have a LinkedIn account for being an executive assistant for my resume, and it's a resume builder. It shows who I am as a person. I'm on there. Am I creating on LinkedIn? Not so much for content creator purposes, but if you want to get to know me, you can find my LinkedIn and you'll figure out my history very quickly. As far as the other spaces go for graphic design and kind of starting out, I would say the most important is to put yourself out there. If you're not creating content on all the platforms, that it's okay, but make sure that you have accounts on those platforms. So if I'm looking for you, I can find you, and you'll show up in my SEO search. Additionally, making sure that your brand is out there is very important. And on your website, there are all these widgets for LinkedIn, for Instagram, for Twitter, X, for Instagram, for TikTok. So just having those be clickable is really important for you as a business owner. And then lastly, find the one that you're most passionate about, that you're most comfortable with. So for me, my favorite is Instagram. I love pictures, and I love telling stories through pictures. I love words too, but pictures is important to me. So that's my focus, is Instagram. TikTok I'm on because I became viral by accident, and I use it as a tool to express my feelings when I want to share something that I want to go viral. That is the purpose of TikTok for me. So I hope that you're able to find your platform that you're most comfortable with. And all of the different companies like Meta, X, they have great tools for you to learn how to use their platforms on their website. So definitely utilize those free tools, and don't be afraid to ask questions about them. And like I said earlier, ChatGPT is an incredible tool. I've been content creating for the last 10 years, but I learned so much every day from it. And I really think that it's a great way and an innovative way for you to learn too. Yeah.
Any other questions? I know there are creators here.
Please ask questions. I love questions. So.
You're actually great.
Hello, how you doing? My question is, funny that you mentioned ChatGPT. I'm using that as well too.
Yeah.
What has helped you out in creating consistency using ChatGPT in your work? I know that some creators, they can even type in, just make me a content calendar for the entire month. And that helps to organize things, but what else has helped you in the process?
So the really interesting tool with ChatGPT is the AI can learn. Am I telling you to put your social security number into ChatGPT? No. But am I telling you to put concepts and things that interest you in ChatGPT? Yes, because it can learn more about you and what is relevant to your space, right? So that's what I really use ChatGPT for, is to become an expert on different concepts and do my research. And I do always ask for citation, which I think is really important, because you want to know where this information is coming from, and it will give you the link. So at the end of the day, it's paraphrasing things and it's showing you where you can get this information from, but I'm clicking on those links and I'm finding out where the actual information is coming from and using correct sources. So if I could tell any of the young people anything, that would be, one is go deeper into the research and do your research. But for me, yeah, I can use it. Sometimes I'm busy. Sometimes I need a content creator calendar. Sometimes I need to know what the holidays are in October or December or November or any of those dates. And that's really useful. I use ChatGPT a lot for the facts too. So actual statistical information, for the science behind something, for a math problem. It can really range between what I need to know and what I'd like to know, but the most important thing is the facts and then the citations from the information that I'm getting. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hello, thank you. Tom Dodge, video producer here. We have a video studio back there, which is fun. Can you talk through your workflow? I think I get bottlenecked at developing the copy around posts, but also maybe the systems you use, the software you use to get posts out there efficiently across different platforms. Any advice, any tools you're looking forward to diving into more in 2026? And thanks for your time.
Thank you, Tom.
So believe it or not, I'm really old school with the way that I post. I don't use any automated systems to post my content because I really think there's something more organic about me doing it individually. Do I work a full-time job? Yes, so I try to post before and after work because my bosses know that I'm on social media and I take my job very seriously. So most importantly, know your target audience and when they are most likely to engage with you. And they'll also be waiting for you to post content. So for me, I'm an early riser, so a lot of my content will go in the morning before work, and a lot of it will go after work. And there's something so kind of fun and special about them having to wait for my content to come out that kind of gives them that energy boost to find me and then see what I'm doing. And then as far as I think for me in my creative space, I would say the way that I like to learn about new technology or do things is really about what's trending. And I'll be super old-fashioned. My degree is in public relations. I went to Syracuse University. Originally I thought I was going to be a broadcast journalist, realized that I was biased and I didn't make a lot of money, ended up in public relations, and now as an executive assistant. So I'm super traditional with things. I love to read the newspaper. That sounds crazy, but I have a subscription to the Boston Globe. I like the newspaper coming to my house. And I think there's something so traditional about the actual the goat of the news media, of the newspaper, of writing, of reading books, having things in print, and that's where I start to get my information from. I love the BBC. I have the app. I read the BBC. I'm very worldly. I love knowing what's going on in the world, and that's just something that's so fascinating to me. Is that I use traditional forms of media to learn about the media and what is trending. Do I love to see the TikTokers with millions of followers that will tell me to use this app or that, but at the end of the day, I'm looking at all my sources. I'm finding, I'm looking at all the different ages and what they're using, and I find the best one for me. Yeah.
We're running out of time. Carrie's going to hang out a little bit.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, Carrie. I just want to say one additional thing. Because we're talking about innovation, we're talking about looking within and kind of taking an inventory of the things that matter to you. Make a paper list, like pen and paper. Don't jot it on your phone. Get a pen and paper, write it down. And then from that list of things that matter to you, also who you doom scroll, that's doom scrolling, right? Who you doom scroll will be an indicator too. So there are people I know that crafts and arts, I'm constantly scrolling recipes and stuff, so I know what kinds of things I like. I know that there's a shadow version of me living on social media that I haven't brought to the light yet with content that I enjoy. And I recently read something and I heard something that create the content that you love to consume. Right? So your clues are all in front of you. And one thing you'll notice is that you've got to experience the fabulous Carrie. And I tell you that when you go on her social media, it'll be very clear. I can tell you for a fan, she's a Celtics fan, die hard, right? Because you will see it all over her social media. I will tell you that if you put a pink bow on poop, she will probably buy it. Am I wrong?
No.
So signaling who you are, what really matters to you, what your brand is, all your little quirks. I think this is the problem that we as creatives go through, right? We're a painter, so we'll put the same generic, stand over picture of our painting. What is it about your painting that is quirky? What is it about your process that's quirky without giving away the secret sauce, right? There's a way, and I feel like you do that magically. You've met Carrie, check out her social media, but also as you're thinking about this for yourself, 2026 is a year where you're thinking, I want to get out there and share my work. Take the inventory. Figure out what it is that matters to you. And that list will change. It will change as you work, right? And some things you'll realize don't serve you as much. Go back, iterate. Nothing is static. You're not married to anything, right? And I feel like you do that really well. But thank you so much, Carrie, for coming today. She has a crazy schedule between now and December, but you'll notice that also the brands that Carrie works with are brands that she would buy. She buys these products, she lives and breathes and is a certain way, and she attracts those collaborators. She attracts those brands. And I think that that's the secret sauce. You are the secret sauce, right, in all of this kind of massive social media-ness. But think on it and give it a little go. And thank you so much, Carrie, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you all for coming out. for our last Creative Mornings of the year. We'll see you.
Wow, I get to finish
I know,
off
you have to finish off
2025.
2025. Sounds crazy, but have a great holiday, and we will see you. It'll be the last Friday in January, all right? And bring a friend. You brought a friend today, thank you. Bring a friend, and we'll see you guys next month and next year. Thank you.